Growing up in Cleveland was interesting because it was such an underdog city. I think it maybe gives you a little bit of a complex. So this is the house I was born in on West 54th Street. I was born at home, so this is actually where I landed. So my first memory of gender was that my parents got me a mini tool set. I think that was the first time I felt like, oh, I'm a tomboy, and tomboys are cool. Right before I went to high school, I got my breasts, pretty much. So my high school's uniform was a polo shirt and a kilt. Going to and getting home from high school was just a lot of dealing with men, men's reactions to me, and men wanting to talk to me, and men trying to get my phone number and stuff. Once I said to a friend of mine that I hated wearing the uniform, that it like made me feel like disrespected. And my friend was like, oh, that's weird because it makes me feel like studious. It felt so unfair to me that I had to wear this ridiculous outfit. After I went to high school, I went to Ohio State. My sophomore year, I was sexually assaulted. It absolutely contributed to just this feeling that I wanted to take my body off. The first trans person I met, my first emotion when meeting him was like intense jealousy. I was just so jealous that he got to get a mastectomy. I found a therapist who like advertised that she specifically wrote letters to get hormones. And I got my hormone letter like by the third or fourth session. When I got the letter, I was just like so relieved, so excited, thrilled. Felt like everything was beginning. I started testosterone October of 2012. I would inject every other Wednesday. People tend to inject in either the thigh or like the butt. You just want like a big muscle to get it in. Very quickly after I started testosterone, I was like, this is obviously what I needed. Testosterone made me like exclusively attracted to biological men. And I was like, if I'm gonna be a gay trans dude, I have to be in a place where that's a thing. I moved to San Francisco in March of 2013. Things in California were going badly, like pretty immediately. The fact is that like lots of people will not hire you being a trans person. And it is like true that when trans guys pass, they get to see an even darker side of men. I was hearing a lot of rape jokes. The worst thing that happened to me is intensely funny to some guys. It's a weird and dark thing to learn about the world. I had kind of like gotten to a point where I was very, very like desperate and low. For a couple months been like thinking about suicide every day and stuff. And I was like, I think that I just got this wrong. Like, this is not a trans thing, this is a trauma thing. I felt like it was time to throw in the towel. I moved back to Cleveland when I decided to detransition. I use the word regret. I regret it. I regret it. It was a waste of my money, it was a waste of my time. It was more time that I didn't do what I needed, which was like address my dissociative symptoms. So I regret it. Maybe that sounds like me whining since my irreversible effects are like pretty minimal, but if I had to do it over again, I would not. I started writing to process the experience and make it make sense. A pretty prominent trans writer wrote an essay about how rare detransition is, and I was incredibly pissed off. I made a YouTube video pretty much coming out. My response and other detransition women's responses, it kind of, the community got a lot more public.
I know one of the presenters, Carey Callahan, and she's a very talented, compassionate, and insightful person.
These women are very important.
It's important to remember, though, that detransition isn't just a controversial subject people argue about online. Detransition is something some people live through. People who often suffer and face difficulties accessing resources because our very existence gets politicized.
You know, I just know like how much work Crash puts into all the content she puts out there. And there are repercussions in your real life to posting this stuff online. I get attacked on a pretty regular basis. I also get people in the trans community who believe that me being public with my story is like unethical because it gives the fundamentalist Christians the material to say that. Come on. Yeah, why am I actively participating in this? Maybe there's a sense that like, if you tell the story and it gets misused, and you tell the story and it gets misused again, then you just like keep telling it until people hear the story.
To what end?
I think the end goal is that other gender dysphoric female people know that we're out here and we're doing okay.